Your blurry reflex is good.
Inner response normal.
It was so strange hearing Shepard's voice in the mouth of that creature last night.
This is as far as you go. No matter what I do, this is as far as you ever make it.
A still suit is a high-efficiency filtration system.
What we are?
What are we?
Man, why do I gotta be the guy that tells the kids there's no Santa Claus?
Put the phone down. Oh, fuck me.
Bosh. Press record.
Bish bash bosh.
Bish bash bosh. Hello and welcome to the Untitled Sci-Fi Show with me, Rob, and you,
Tom. Hello.
First time I've ever done that.
It is. Copying the variety show.
See, yeah, don't get used to that, everyone. We've got lots to talk about this week. We've got what's TJ been up to? Not very much. What's Rob been up to? Lots. Switch 2 conversations, and then apparently we'll watch some film. I really wish we didn't. Ready?
Let's do this.
This is perplexing.
Is it? A-L-I-E-N-S.
I don't know why you always insist on whispering and spelling that.
Right. Guess the intro, which I handily left out of that. What are we doing?
Okay, can I just point out, we've got a Lego box here.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Minecraft village from the Minecraft movie.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
does it look like John Wick's on the back? I know that's meant to be...
Which,
I know
Steve?
No, it's meant to be...
That?
That's not meant to be Steve,
Yeah,
is
that's
it?
Jack Black as Steve.
Why didn't they make the character a little bit fatter? I know it's a Lego character, but we have a...
Oh, they have. He's got a little paunch, little drawn, little.
Oh, a little
line.
drawn-on one.
Yeah,
It
because
looks
they don't
more-
actually make them fat, do they?
Yeah, there's been Lego characters that they put a little bulge on.
Oh, have they? Or they've just drawn, or maybe he asked them to. One thing I think is weird, though, like, this is not very good for an audio medium. They have two faces. Because their hair comes down the back, they've been able to print two faces on, so they get two different expressions. You can turn their head around. And
Oh,
put
that's quite cool.
Yeah. So, like, there's the angry one, and then slightly less angry one.
Right. Okay, no, that's
And then
quite...
look, she's got her mouth open there, and then here she's like, oh, a bit scared.
I like that. That's cool.
Mm.
It still doesn't look like Steve from Minecraft. It looks like John Wick or...
It looks like John Wick, absolutely.
Or in fact, it might even look like the Winter Soldier.
So it's funny. So we went to Trafford Centre, T and I, and we both wanted to get the Creeper Lego.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite well priced, one of their bigger ones for £30. And now I say well priced. That's well priced for fucking Lego. Lego is expensive.
Oh, 100%.
We were both gutted they didn't have it. But it had only come out like 2 days before. And Dan had said the same thing to me. It's like, it's new, it's going to go. And in the store, they're like, oh yeah, it's a new set. It's just disappeared. What can I do? And so, okay, so we were both a bit disappointed. And then we saw other Lego sets for specifically Minecraft. This is the one. So I brought one and he brought one. Because
Okay.
I wanted him to be able to have every character. And then I quite liked what was in this one. So this one's got the chicken shop for the Lava Chicken song. And it's got a ghast that shoots stuff. Which
That's
I
very cool.
really liked that. So we've actually both built that one together already. And then the other one is just here. This is the fight scene. So
Oh, yes.
you've got the
chicken jockey.
and you've got the big pig monster. And then this is meant to be, sorry, everyone. This is just for TJ, really, this bit. This is meant to be like the castle bit where the lad's running around in.
Yeah, I know. When he's trying to find all the bits.
Where the
or
Enderman
whatever it
comes,
is.
gets him. But it doesn't have an Enderman in it. Odd. They could easily have just put a little
but
Enderman in here.
They
couldn't
could have, but then they wouldn't be able to charge for an Enderman.
Yeah, they have a big Enderman you make. I think there's like an Enderman set where there's like a thing of a yay high with 6
For
inches or
Minecraft
something.
law, maybe you build it and you wait, and every now and then one fades in and then disappears out to
And
another
takes one
child's
block.
house.
But this one had Garbage Man in, and we both really like Garbage Man. So he brought this one with his pocket money. So this is the first proper purchase he's ever made in his life with pocket money.
Oh, well, that's
is this,
awesome.
which is nice. And we're taking we're changing some to dollars for him when we
We haven't actually spoken. You've finally seen the Minecraft movie.
I have.
We haven't spoken about it on any of the shows.
It's on my list of things to talk about.
Oh, okay.
In my
right.
section.
No, fine.
But I haven't seen every single piece of it, as you know what it's like when you watch
Oh,
films with
yes.
children. So anyway, this is the guest the intro section, everyone. So how do you think you got on before I actually get into it?
Badly.
Yeah, no one got it. A particular person, naming no names, missed 2.
Right,
So
okay.
that was disappointing, and I think they were trying and they just couldn't get them. One of them is particularly difficult. I will say that. But also, I was a bit naughty, and one clip is cut in half and played at the beginning
Yes.
and the end. I bookshelved, or whatever it's called, the entire thing in between one.
because I sent you a little list. I
You
then
did.
then said, "Wait, hang on. Are you being a cheeky fuck?"
Yeah. Well, it's a very long scene that I didn't want to cut out.
Well, no, because it's a good scene.
And it's quite a cooler bit. So I'm just getting my notes ready because I've got to flip between the two bits
Don't forget to unmute.
and unmute that. Let's unmute that now. Thank you very much. So we ready? We get started?
Yep.
Off we go.
When a man's an empty kettle, he should be on his mettle, and yet I'm torn apart.
Okay, that's the first
So
one.
that's Bicentennial Man.
It is Bicentennial Man, absolutely.
So that's the bit where Robin Williams' robot, or whatever you want to call him, I don't even, what is he meant
don't
to be?
remember his name.
An android, is it?
Well, he still is, yeah.
Yeah, but that's when he meets, the first time he meets the female android that the other person's got, or whatever it is.
Well, no, he's already met them, but they're building organic parts, specifically
That
a
was
heart.
it,
It's
yes.
that bit where they're building the heart.
Yes. And he's the doctor, he plays the bloke that's building it. It's quite a chubby bloke,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
he? It's like Doctor, whatever his name is, he plays a psychiatrist in one of the new medical dramas now.
Oh, is he? But yes, that's right. Bicentennial Man.
Okie doke.
Very few of us here are actually mentally ill. I'm not saying you're not mentally ill. For all I know, you're crazy as a loon.
See, I thought this was 12 Monkeys.
You think it's 12 Monkeys? Because it is 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, so that's Brad Pitt. And
Brad Pitt.
if I'm honest, it's, I think, one of his, if not his best performance in any film.
Yeah, he's great in it. God, I have not watched that film in years and years and years. That when I was like, well, I'm going to do it, but I was like, I can't remember which bit I even want to do or what bit's going to be memorable. So I was like, okay, well, look, I'm just going to pick a Brad Pitt bit.
I mean, it's Terry Gilliam, isn't it, that did the film, and it's very, very typical of his style, but it's such a good film. I've not watched the TV series that they recently
No,
did.
I have not watched
because the film, for me, is just so solid.
But yeah, 12 Monkeys.
Okay.
Right, sorry, they're very close together, these. So the hyperdrive generator was the bit.
Yeah, I didn't get that one, unless it's something like Men in Black and the little weird sausage alien
No,
things.
I'm surprised you didn't get that. I'm surprised that no one really got that. It's Phantom Menace.
Oh,
That's, yeah, Watto, whatever his name is, talking to, I think he's talking to Qui-Gon Jinn.
Don't forget, I think I can count the number of times I've seen episode 1 on one hand. I would say I saw it at the cinema, and I may have seen it twice since.
Sometimes
Well, I thought he was quite a well-known character in it, though.
Yeah, but don't forget, I saw it in 98 when it came out, and then probably not too long after that, I would have seen it the second and third time. I've not seen it in years. I couldn't even really tell you much about the film anymore.
Well, look, we are going to watch that at one point. Right, next one.
Sometimes I suspect I'm not who I think I am. Like maybe I died a long time ago and somebody took my brain and stuck it in this body.
So is that Ghost in the Shell?
It is Ghost in the Shell. Well done.
Yeah, it's just because it's the quote. It's the perfect quote to have chosen for that film.
Yeah, it was really difficult to get one for it because it was all like action scenes and stuff when I was hunting around for clips and bits. So getting actual quotes for it was quite difficult.
What did you make of the modern remake of that?
With Scarlett Johansson.
Is it Scarlett Johansson? Yeah,
Scarlett
it is.
Johansson. I didn't dislike it.
I thought it was nicely done. It looked the part.
I can completely understand why people didn't like her to play it. They wanted someone who was ethnically, well, I don't know how I should say it.
It should have been more fitting to the manga original.
It should have been, but at the same time, I did think it was still good, and she played the part well.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say about it. I didn't dislike it, Next one.
Okay.
You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
Well, that's Jurassic Park, isn't it?
Jurassic Park, of course it is.
So I've only missed one so far. So
yeah, you missed the next one.
Did I?
This isn't part of my program. I'm a doctor, not a doorstop.
That's Voyager.
Yeah, but that's not what it's from.
Oh my God, you prick.
It's the Doctor from Voyager.
Cocksucker. Yeah, that's First Contact, isn't
yes.
it? You absolute knob jockey.
I knew I'd get you with it. I knew. I was like, I'm going to fuck him up.
Of course. And that's, again, it's one of my favourite, if not my favourite Star Trek film.
It's a great scene too.
It is brilliant. Yeah. It's like, there's like Borg just about to burst through that door. Delay them, but I'm a doctor.
Yeah, I'm a doctor, not a doorstop. Yeah. Oh, very good.
And then, of course, we round it off with
the end of that scene.
Yeah, over on the rack. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that bit. It's a really great bit in the film.
Very good.
And it's all like, it's a great gag and it's off screen too.
Yeah.
Yeah, very funny. So well done to absolutely nobody. Nobody got them all. You missed 2. Somebody else missed 2.
So Jim,
don't
Dave,
fuck off.
H? It is really you?
Of course it's me. Who else could it be? Hey, Bassam.
Hi, H. Naza said you were dead.
Oh, I just whacked the microphone just as I pressed record there. Okay, right, let's mute that. Right, go on then. What have you been up to? Nothing? Great,
no.
thanks.
No, look, if we know what's going to happen with Men in Black International, we need to pad this.
Yeah, that's where we've got a whole nother section in between.
So I've installed Sniper Elite Resistance,
Uh-huh.
and just like the last one, I started the first mission and then lost about 2 hours of my life to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just wonderful. Really good. Looks gorgeous. Can't help but enjoy these slow motion scenes as a bullet ricochets through a Nazi's head and you see all their bones shatter and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
The X-ray side of it. I think it's called X-ray. I don't know if that's part of, like, is it Mortal Kombat? And
I think Mortal Kombat called them X-ray as well.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's all the same graphics engine now and it's all shared and that's why it's called Anyway, it just looks really good and it plays nicely. I'm really taken with it. It's just a solid series of games.
Is it just like the one we played together, just new? Same engine, everything?
Yeah, same engine, looks the same, maybe a little bit more polish on it, just a whole different series of maps. Now, the thing is, there were maps in that last one that we played. I think that was Sniper Elite 5. It was either 5 or 6, whichever one it was before Resistance. And the maps on there are just immense.
Yeah,
once you've gone through kind of a couple of parts of the mission and the whole map unlocks, I was spending hours just slowly walking through undergrowth, through woods, finding every extent of the map you could. And it's just amazing. You can just walk around and it's just been beautifully all planned out and finding these little... There's a couple of missions on there where you're in a town and it feels like a real town. There's just roads that lead off to places with shop fronts and houses and bombing areas that you can then climb up. It just all felt really, really immersive. So it's really good. So I'm really pleased with that. I've played a bit more Helldivers, and obviously we chatted about that last time, and the Illuminate are gone now, although apparently they're back.
Okay, and I saw that some bug planets have got settlements on them now too.
Yeah, so it sounds like they're starting to do this. By the way, when you land on this planet, there's going to be 2 sets of enemies you've got to go up against. So that's going to be an interesting one.
But you said that a long time ago, you wanted that.
Yeah, because I think that's a good way of doing it. Maybe make the map ever so slightly bigger, and then you have attacking from both sides. You've got a decision, which way do we go? Because if we go that way, they're going to be behind us. But if we go that way, they'll be behind us.
What do you reckon about having all 3 baddies on one planet as like a big final hurrah war? Everyone's met up. But I imagine Super Earth, where you've got all of them have got to Super Earth at the same time, and you're on Super Earth defending it from all of them.
I must admit, it was fun doing Super Earth with the Illuminate on there.
Yeah.
I think I would have quite liked to have seen Super Earth with the Cybers on.
Yeah.
I think the bots on there would have been really cool to see, because some of their it's like seeing one of the walkers coming through the streets would have been phenomenal.
Cool. Yeah, that would have been cool.
So there's quite a lot to that. I would have liked to see. Who knows? We don't know what's coming. I mean, we might end up at Cyberstan at some point. Again, very cool. Right, Murderbot, I've caught up on that. Although what I really hate on Apple TV is new episodes every Friday. What they mean is by American Friday. So you're caught up to the episode that I am.
Yeah, I'm all caught
which
up.
was last week's. So did your episode end with an explosion?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's last week's Friday.
Oh, that's a shame.
So I don't know what time it will click in, but at some point this evening, there'll be a new episode. And I love it.
Well, tomorrow.
Well, no, probably tonight. It will probably click in tonight.
But
as America comes online, it depends where
It's
in America.
Thursday, though.
Oh yeah, good
Thursday,
point. It's Thursday. I keep thinking it's Friday
Yeah, it's
today.
Thursday
Ignore
today.
me.
But we're recording. It's Thursday. As you're listening, it's Monday or after.
Oh, well, that would probably why we haven't got it then. So ignore all of that. That's just me being an idiot.
I from your recommendation, started watching today, and then I was hooked on it. Watched every single episode today. Binged it on my own today. They're quite short. They're 20.
This is
minutes.
that's what I was just going to say. My big issue with it is it's a 24-minute episode. You lose 2 minutes of that to the titles. And it just feels like you get to that point. It's like, I'm really into this. This is so good. And then it's the end of the bloody episode every time.
Yeah. And they are little cliffhangers every episode. I really would like to watch The Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon as its own show.
Oh, wouldn't it be amazing?
That'd be good. So that's like a fake sci-fi show within Murderbot.
Yeah, it's basically... I tell you what, so this is done by Paramount Murderbot. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't.
It's actually Paramount Studios.
Okay.
So you've got to imagine that they've probably had some input from the Star Trek people, if not some of their Star Trek people working on this.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, as much as it's meant to be a play on Star Trek, they're definitely ripping the piss out of Discovery in that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's Discovery purely with all the weird stuff going on that they've chosen to. I just really like the acting in it. Every one of them feels like the character you're expecting them to be. The show's just been... The story seems good so far. I'm just hoping it doesn't end in a bad way. I'm hoping the story stays getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
I think it really is just, the length of time the episodes are, that disappoints me the most. It's like, why can't it be a bit longer?
Yeah, because we've watched 5 episodes. That's basically the length of a film.
Yeah.
Essentially.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be great if they were a bit longer. Anything else?
Well, I'm just choking here. One other thing. I rewatched Independence Day Resurgence today.
Oh, yes, you did. We spoke about this.
Yeah, and
I said you've got Stockholm Syndrome.
So, I remember when that came out, and I saw it at the cinema, and I let myself be swayed by the critics, I think, because I went in there thinking this is going to be shit, and I came out thinking it was shit.
Yeah.
Then I rewatched it with Jem when it came to streaming, and I said, oh, it's shit. But she said, oh, we might as well watch it because I enjoyed the first one. And we both came away saying it was shit. But in the back of my mind, I sat there kind of thinking, why am I saying this is shit? And rewatching it today, I think this is probably the 3rd or 4th time I've watched it now. The story isn't wonderful, but it isn't any worse than the story from the first film.
Yeah.
The thing that I would pinpoint maybe is the worst bit on it is the fact that, okay, the CGI aliens don't look anywhere near as good as the practical effects aliens we got in the first one, but when you do get the practical aliens, they look just as good.
Yeah.
And there's just a couple of moments in it. So you remember the aliens from the first one. They're in their little bodysuit, crack open, there's a little alien driving it around, yeah? So the premise of this is those are smaller ships, and then there's also something called a harvester, which is even fucking bigger. I mean, the top of our globe sort of size. And it comes and it clamps onto your planet, drills in, sucks out your molten core, and off it goes. And that's led by what they call a harvester queen. And the Harvester Queen is basically the size of like the Empire State Building when she's in her mech suit. So they've just basically gone, right, take the alien and make it really big. And it just looked really good. And they even give the Alien Queen its own sort of like rifle that it runs around shooting with. And it's just been enough. And it just looked really good.
I don't remember this film.
I couldn't.
I wonder if I haven't seen it.
I would wonder if you've even seen it because so many people say, oh, I'm not watching that. I mean, yeah, they didn't have Will Smith in it, which turns out is a positive thing nowadays. Apparently he died when they were doing a test flight from the new moon base.
I kind of remember that aspect of it, but I don't remember Kaiju.
I think that's because everyone was talking about it, and that's what the story was leaked, because everyone was like, oh, there's no Will Smith in it, we don't want to see it. And yeah, it was leaked that he was meant to have died in testing something out on the new moon base.
Has it got everyone else, though? It's got...
No, so it's got Bill Pullman, still, but he's playing, still playing the now ex-president.
Okay.
It's got Data in it.
Oh, okay.
So
he was in the first one.
So he dies in the first one, but it turns out he's only in a coma. And it's got Jeff Goldblum still, and Jeff Goldblum's dad in it.
Okay.
So it's all the main characters from the last one, really. And basically the premise is that the Harvester gets alerted that the ships have been destroyed, and it starts heading for us. But then we're also visited by another alien who's the last of its species,
right?
Coming to say that we have a refugee planet. No one's ever defeated a Harvester. We're here to evacuate as many of you as you can.
Yeah, I haven't seen this,
and
we're
teaching people to fight back. But Earth, being Earth, blows them out the sky, and it's. Yeah, I think it's worth a watch.
Earth blows up the second alien race, thinking they're baddies.
Yeah.
Classic Earth.
Yeah, good old Earth. You know, it deserves a watch, and it deserves to be watched with a fair mind. Don't go into it like I did, because actually rewatching it now, excluding some of the CGI, there's a lot of clever bits to it. For example, the entire Earth has adopted all of the alien technology. So all the alien ships that crashed are still there.
Okay.
And we've been stripping it and we've been learning. So all the vehicles you see, like these new top-of-the-range space jet fighters, are all powered by the same engines that the alien ships has. All their weapons are powered by the alien weapons. So they've taken those bits, and that's exactly what you would do.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just go, oh, well, we'll just leave it. You would look at their technology and go, well, if they're going to come back, we should be able to fight them. And that's what they've done.
Yeah.
So it's got not too bad a premise.
Yeah.
So well worth watching.
Okay.
What is that thing?
See the core? How it keeps emitting convective energy across the interior of the photosphere?
I see all that. I see the photosphere bit.
What have you been up to?
Me, little old me. So yeah, Murderbot, which we've actually, just dropped my phone, which we've actually just spoken about, which I've really enjoyed. We have now watched up to Fallout of Mission Impossible.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
You were totally right last time about the order of them. I got it all fucked up. So we've now got the one that is out on Netflix, which isn't, again, I was wrong with this, is not the newest one. It's just the newest one that isn't at the cinema. Dead Reckoning or whatever it fucking is.
Yeah, but wasn't this the two parts? So Dead Reckoning ends on a cliffhanger and it's meant to carry on in the next one.
So we haven't seen that. So now I'm like, well, do I actually not bother watching this until the next one is out on streaming platforms as well? But I know what will happen is that the first part will come off of being free and suddenly everyone will want you to pay for it.
Yeah.
Because they do that with
the other
fucking
one,
everything, because then the other one will be out for free and they won't be offering you the first one because that's how they get you.
Exactly.
But yeah, I just fucking love Mission Impossible. I've got to say, it's just so cool.
And it's still, going back to the TV era, I know, it's still one of the best intro music bits to TV.
Yeah, the music's
it's just
great.
classic.
Yeah. Clarkson's Farm, I don't care what anyone thinks about him. I love that show. And I was literally like, for one reason, they let I think they let like 4 episodes out. And then 2, like a week later, they did 2. And then another week later, they did another 2, which is really odd. They did that in the last season. They released that in 2 halves. And then the first 2 seasons were just out. I
don't like that.
I can only assume, we've said about this before, my theory is they're holding on to this old TV way because they want to stretch people onto multiple months so they can't use their free month to watch the whole thing.
100%, that's what it is.
Because they're expecting FOMO and spoilers to mean people will want to go to watch these 4 episodes quickly and then they'll get that $8.99. I'll get $8.99 out of you,
Yeah.
So I think that's why.
And Disney does the same. So I love Bob's Burgers, as many people will know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's season 15 we're on now, something like that. And we've been sat on 10 episodes for that for over 6 months. And now suddenly episodes 11, 12 and 13 have dropped in the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So there's been like half a year gap just waiting for those episodes to be released.
Yeah.
But they're doing it in America as well. So it's not like America's not suffering too.
Mm.
I just think it's very unfair. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I don't like it. But they're all out. I've watched them all. I absolutely love Clarkson's Farm. I'm going to download the first... Basically, I'm going to download them all to my phone so I can watch them on the plane when I go away. And I've already watched season 1 and 2 twice already. I don't know what it is about it. It's not that I really like Jeremy Clarkson either. It's just there's just something about the show that I just quite like. It is funny, and it's, you know, I like farming stuff, and I don't know, it's something about the show just tickles me, right? I think maybe because he's such a blundering idiot.
Yes.
And he's got like a young lad who's basically just like, you are a fucking idiot to him, just completely.
Why
and it's like,
are you doing
not
this?
scripted. It's not like Top Gear, quote unquote, not scripted, where Jeremy Clarkson actually wrote all of that. He did it.
Yeah.
In this, it is, there's the occasional bit, I think, in like season 1 or 2 where you think, that's a scenario I can see that they're playing to. Whereas clearly by 3 and 4, they're not. It's just, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
It's like,
and I mean, it's a bit like the Grand Tour. So I've just watched the last episode of the Grand Tour, which is, it's almost moving. Almost moving. But what I'll say to people is, if you're going to watch the Grand Tour and think it's real, then you're an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
However, the vast majority of it, as much as it may be scripted, I would suggest that potentially May, Hammond and Clarkson aren't always aware, and it's actually something the production team have set up.
So I was watching an interview with Clarkson and Caleb for the Clarkson Farm. I think he mentioned something, because this is what I was saying about the writing.
Yeah.
He literally says in it, because he's talking about how he writes for newspapers and does this, he loves writing, is like how he wrote the Grand Tour and Top Gear stuff. So he does do it, but he doesn't know. He basically creates the scenario, but then doesn't know where they're going to go, what they're going to... The production team are doing that. So they were literally apparently turning up to airports, not knowing where the hell they were going to go. So they are surprised, like, that they're going to these places and stuff, and they don't know exactly what's going to happen when they get there. Just a map of it has kind of been done by Clarkson being like, no, we're going to be doing this kind of stuff.
I think the thing is people quite often just say, oh, Jeremy Clarkson, no, I'm not going to give it a chance. Hate him. Dislike him, he's objectionable, he's a knob, all of those things, and I can quite agree in some ways. However, he is bloody brilliant on TV for that style of TV, and this is why New Top Gear has always failed since those 3 left.
Yeah.
You cannot have that dynamic with anyone else. And they work to it and they play to it, and that's why they were so successful for so long. And that's why Clarkson Farm has been successful, because it's Clarkson being Clarkson. And yet you may not like it, but if that's the style of TV you like, it is perfect.
Yeah. Well, they captured lightning in a bottle with Top Gear and the Grand Tour, and I just don't think you're going to get a shot at that again.
Well, I've just seen they've recast Top Gear again with the new 3 presenters for it. And it just looks atrocious.
Just won't bother.
I didn't bother with when it was Paddy McGuinness and whoever else it was.
The cricketer.
Yeah, I mean, terrible. I didn't realise his accident was as bad as it was.
Yeah, pretty
I've
bad,
seen the pictures now, and God,
Freddie Flintoff.
And he's never going to look the same again. He's not the good-looking bloke he used to be.
Yeah, he's quite scarred, isn't he? Bless him. Yeah, but as again said, Clarkson Farm, loved it. You touched on it earlier, Minecraft movie. I've been in the room when it's been on from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I've seen every moment of it, because I was making a drink for him, doing food or whatever, doing something, hanging around while it was on. And then there was continued kind of, we'll watch it in the morning, we'll watch it again in the morning, and it never happened.
Yeah.
He remembers every single fucking word of it, but I don't know how, because he's only watched it. So he's watched it now twice through. And we're halfway through it again, and he said he wants to watch the second half of it with Mummy in the morning tomorrow. So, thanks for the invite. I know where I'm sitting.
I was lucky I got to take Kay to the cinema for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've brought it on the Apple TV, so
Yeah, Kay and Jem have watched it.
So I figured that out, by the way, so I don't end up using your card. I have to turn off the sharing. Whenever I'm going to buy, I turn off family sharing. And then I use my card, and then I turn it back on again.
I think you can change it to your card. It's just a pain in the ass to do.
Yeah, I think as well, if I do it from my iPad or something, it doesn't ask for your card.
Okay. It's wherever
does
you've
a
stored.
personal card. Yeah, it's really confusing. Apple stuff, fucking hell confusing. But anyway, yeah, I've got it on there, and from what I have seen of it, I really like it.
I will say it's phenomenal that so much of that was practical effects as well. So excluding the fact that the villagers' heads were CGI, their body, their suits weren't. So it is people walking along in costume. The trees, the lava chicken shack was all real.
I need to watch. I think you linked it to me. I need to watch some making ofs because I think that's why I felt so weird about the zombies, because they are, like you're saying, people.
Yeah.
Which they've obviously then manipulated the look of them in with CGI. But then, yeah, the face is obviously so it's a weird mishmash, but it works.
It works. It's very, very clever. All the trees, for example, were real.
I will say it's borderline scary for 4-year-olds, I think.
Yeah, it's very dark. And I would say, and this is me being, dear God, I'm being won't someone think of the children? Very surprised they went with the fact that the main bad character just goes around and stabs everyone.
He turns them into pork chops, yeah. Well, there's a bit...
Yeah, but that bit's fine. But the fact she's walking around with a dagger and just stabbing people, when you consider the amount of knife crime we have in the newspapers at the moment, I would have thought that would have been frowned upon more.
Yeah. The bit for me is actually when the zombies eat the sheep.
Oh, yeah.
They're like T literally says to me, it's like, they're eating his skin. And it's like, no, they're eating his fur off. But I think they should have put that in. That it would have been funnier actually if it was more obvious that they literally did a Minecraft and pulled his fur off, and then you had a naked sheep and one of them had a block of fur, of wool rather. I think that would have been funnier. Then it looks like they're 4 zombies are eating the sheep's flesh.
Yes,
and I was like, okay, yeah, I can understand why you're scared of that. Absolutely, and yeah, the nether bit, because they've done such a brilliant job with the CGI, it's almost too real, and it is actually, I think, a bit scary. I don't want to be the big like Dobby Downer on it, but I think it is actually a bit too scary. So when he said to me he's scared of it and didn't want to watch it for a while, I totally got it.
Yeah,
totally got it.
100% agree.
Yeah. So that's that. I played a bit more Last of Us 2. You saw me when you got here. I'm really excited for Death Stranding 2. That comes out on the 24th of June. Surprised how much I loved the first one.
I must play that. I haven't played it yet.
The shame about it is for you now, if other people aren't playing it, you're not going to get the same sense of coolness. So you're essentially a delivery man, for those who don't know. You something's happened in the world. Oh god, it's fucking Kojima. It's so difficult to explain. But there's areas where you can't go because dead creatures will come out of the ground and suck you in. And if they pull you down, it causes basically some kind of cataclysm, which is a nuclear explosion.
Right,
that happens.
okay.
So you have to not let that happen to you. But basically you're delivering places. You play something Bridges, who's played by the guy from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Who everybody knows. Who I now can't remember his name. Anyway, and Norman Reedus. And I did that without IMDb. Holy fuck. That's the first time ever.
That's impressive.
And yeah, so you're just basically delivering stuff. So you get stuff from one place, you have to try and carry it all on your back, or eventually you get a car or a little bike and stuff. And you've got to balance yourself. So like shoulder buttons are balance, which is quite a cool little thing. It sounds so dull, but the story is epic. The graphics are just wonderful. The whole aesthetics of it is just incredible. It's not often I completely binge a game. It's really not often. I played that game every single night. Miranda was a complete Death Stranding widow. Complete Death Stranding. To the point, and you have like this baby on you, which can sense the monsters, and it was called BB. I was so into it because I was playing it while she was pregnant that T's nickname when she was pregnant was BB. So we just, this house was just calling him BB while he was inside. Anyway, yeah. So that new one comes out near the end of the month. I haven't pre-ordered anything because when I get it, I want to play it, and it's not like the games are going anywhere. Like I can pick that game up in a year. Like Death Stranding 1 is sometimes free on Steam and other places. So when I'm ready to play it, I'll play it.
It'll end up on one of the free side of things, or what the things that we pay for anyway. Yeah.
But I am super excited for it. And as I was saying to you, like the shame for you if you're only going to just start Death Stranding 1 now is that it's not multiplayer, but if you can you can build roads, you can physically spend your credits to build a bit of road. and that will appear for everyone else, and they can spend their credits to build the next bit of the road or upgrade the road to make it better for you to drive on.
Right, okay.
Or there's bits where you've got to get through the mountains. Well, you can literally climb all the way up and down the mountain in the snow.
I've seen the video clips
or
of those.
you can get these weird magnet kind of glider things, but you've got to have posts up to go from one to the next to next. So someone's got to place those fucking posts there. So I remember when I was doing it, it was quite a long time after being released, maybe a year after being released. So not many people were playing it, but people had been maintaining these posts in the mountains because they run out of energy.
Yeah.
So you've got to spend credits to maintain
So
them.
it might be worth to start playing it when the second one comes out, because people may go back to play the first one to familiarise themselves with it.
Or wait for a Steam sale and then play it, because that's when people
Is it cross-play?
I don't know if it's cross-play or not. I don't know. But you know what I mean? As I said, you're not playing with anyone else. There's no one else there. It's you're getting elements from certain people who have played stuff. But it was a great feature, and going through the mountains, I mean, I made some myself, and what as well, you can like them. So when you get there, you can press a button and click like on it and stuff, and you can leave messages for people. So I made this whole track for a quite difficult bit of the mountain to skip a whole section, and it had loads of likes, and people. So obviously, people were still playing it a year later. It's quite nice
to go back and
see the things that you put there. Other people playing the game are like, oh yeah, this was actually really fucking handy. Thank you for putting
that's
this in.
very cool. Yeah. I like that.
And I'm guessing the second one's going to be more of the same. I watched the video yesterday. It looks brilliant. More Kojima insanity of how the stories he comes up with. Brilliant. I'm really looking forward to basically what I'm saying. But not looking forward to it so much that I'm going to stop everything else I'm already playing, because then I'll never fucking finish anything.
Yeah, fair enough.
Too many games on the go. And the last thing, I've been going on a long time. So TikTok, I've fallen into the AI algorithm. You've seen what I've been sending you.
Yeah.
Somehow I've fallen into AI Yeti algorithm on TikTok. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, somehow some AI somewhere has suddenly been released that must be free, that's doing videos with very good audio. I don't think it's Gemini, because Gemini's all over the fucking place with it.
Yeah,
but
with VO3.
These are very good videos, clearly AI. They're obviously AI because of the subject matter, a talking Yeti. It's basically Bigfoot. But I don't know if people are doing their own voices and adding it in, or the AI is making the voices, or what, I don't know. But they're basically vlogs, but from a Yeti's perspective.
Are you sure it's AI?
Absolutely, because there's so many of them. And they're all slightly different. But you can see it does the things to have something in his hand, it will accidentally morph into something else.
Fine,
or an extra finger will appear and disappear. So when you're looking at him, you'll see.
Because the ones I've been
some are better than others.
The ones I've been hooked into has been the Stormtrooper vlogging.
It's all AI.
Are those AI,
Absolutely,
those Stormtrooper
AI,
ones?
yeah,
because they just look too good.
No, this is what I'm saying to you. Some of them are incredible. But if you go on that person's channel and look through them, you'll catch them.
Fine,
like,
okay.
There's like a Batman and Robin one, and then one scene Robin will have a slightly different costume.
Right.
Or one of there's one where Batman would meet these two women. One of the women changes in one of the scenes and goes back again. You know, a person making that wouldn't make that mistake.
I think then in that case it's people overdubbing it. I think they're dubbing their own audio.
Well, that's what I think too. And then somehow the AI is doing.
Well, it's because the Stormtrooper ones, it's the same voices every time.
Yeah.
Across hundreds of videos at this point. And AI just can't do that at this point. It will always vary it. So
I'm wondering if there's some software where you can add your own audio in.
No, it could be just something like 11 Labs.
Yeah, or maybe, yeah. But as I'm saying, they're great. The Yeti ones are hilarious.
Oh, I'll have to look at those ones. I haven't had, as I say, I've had the Stormtroopers. I haven't had the Yeti yet.
And speaking kind of back to Clarkson's Farm, there's some guy who's made a channel where all of it is just taking clips from Clarkson's Farm and turning them all into babies.
Yes, I've seen those.
And they're so funny. And there was one for the Lava Chicken song where they're all babies, and T loves watching that, where you see Jack Black there just as a baby singing the Lava Chicken song. They're great. I know everyone seems to hate AI, but there are some parts of it that goes, that's funny. You know, Clarkson's Farm as babies, talking Yetis, eating humans. It's one of them where the Yeti keeps finding different female animals or different female Yetis to find himself a wife. And he goes on about how he just has the greatest life of his life, and how it sounds gross, sorry everyone, but I'm just going to say it's like rode him like a demon or sucked him dry like loads of really gross things, but it always ends in trouble at the end.
Yeah.
One of them was like he was having sex with a polar bear or something. It was just like... Anyway, sorry, I've been going on for nearly 20 minutes here.
The Stormtrooper ones, if you've not watched all of those yet, oh my God.
I've only seen one.
The one I watched today, we're stealing Vader's helmet, and the bloke in the back has got Vader's helmet as they're running along, and then they get caught. And he was trying to stick it up his uniform, but he couldn't get it in. Now we're having to be cleaners, and they're doing cleaning, and then suddenly everything's on fire and they're escaping. And it's like, this is our new life now on a planet.
Yeah, they're funny.
But no, last night's one was they're on Eldaron, or is it Eldaron? It's got the Ewoks.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen that one. Yeah. And he's saying about the little brown things.
There's teddy bears throwing spears at us.
Yeah. No, that is a good one, but I'm pretty confident they're AI too.
I thought I was wondering if that was someone's Blender project.
Maybe. It's just
or an Unreal Engine 5
if you look at it as well, they're all made up of short clips.
Well, I was going to say it's short clips, and yeah, you're right. The one I watched today where they're landing on the planet in the escape pod, randomly there's like a fire going on one of them, and it's like, why is that going on?
Yeah, exactly.
I pledge loyalty eternal to you, Agent M.
No, I'm not interested in a subject.
Too late. It's done. I already pledged the loyalty. I wish you'd said no before.
Right.
Before we talk about the Switch,
right, go on.
Really important one that we completely missed.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 38 years, and literally 3 hours ago, at the time of us recording, Mel Brooks has confirmed that Spaceballs 2 is happening, and he is returning as the yogurt.
Yeah, what is going on when we just do our episode? Like, I've noticed this about a few things that we've done, that we do an episode, obviously, because the world revolves around me and you.
Of course.
We do the Spaceballs episode suddenly out of 38 fucking years later. Maybe we just showed Mel that actually there is people out there who still are watching.
You never know.
It was looking there at the stats on Amazon Prime one day, and he just saw, ping, 2 more went up, and he goes, I knew it.
Well, from what I've read, apparently Bill Pullman, Rick Moranis, Mel Brooks are all coming back for it.
Oh, great.
Now, I thought Rick Moranis had retired from acting completely, hasn't done anything for years. So that'll be interesting.
Well, he went to look after his kids, though, didn't he? I think he went to look after... Well, I think if Mel went and asked you to come back for one movie...
At the age of 98, he's going to come back as yoga. I think, you're going to have to come back,
I think you've got to. He looks good for 98.
He looks brilliant for 98. Watching that video, I was like, whoa.
You telling me he's 98? That's very surprising to me. He looks good. Yeah.
But so many comments as well about the thing that we missed with, can you please bring back the actor that played Tuvok?
Oh, yeah. We ain't seen shit.
We ain't seen shit. How did we miss that was him?
I don't know how he missed it. It's the helmet, probably. He's just a massive helmet on. We're too busy laughing at the actual what he said and the afro comb he's using.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough.
So, right, I'm not going to make another section. You sent me a voice note the other day.
I did.
Now I'm going to put these 2 voice notes at the end.
Okay.
Because we're kind of going to go over basically what we say. But if anyone is interested in the original conversation you and I had over 2 voice notes, they can listen to it at the end. But the Switch 2 came out, and you had an opinion about it, and I had an opinion about it, and we expressed those opinions, and we're going to express them to you now.
We do. So I will open this conversation with, I managed to walk into a shop on Tuesday and still buy a Switch 2 over the counter without a pre-order.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's to do with Nintendo were being brilliant at providing stock.
Well, I don't know. So since it's a while now since it was the 6th that you and I had that chat, and it's now the 12th. So it's been 6 days since we made those voice notes. So if anyone does listen after the credits, they'll hear it was 6 days ago from now. And I know you don't like him, Linus Tech Tips. He does the WAN show. I don't actually watch it. He just got to get clips of it. And he was talking about the Switch. So I did listen to like 40 minutes of him and Luke, I think the guy is, he does it with, talking about the Switch 2. And they did actually make some good points about it. But he was saying that supposedly, according to one of their sources who runs a store, that Nintendo did actually want to beat the scalpers and promised they would have more stock than last time.
Okay.
And apparently, it's selling faster than the Switch 1 did. Now, whether I believe that, I don't know. I could believe it for the fact that no one had a fucking Switch 1 in stock. So by having the Switch 2 in stock available for people to buy, automatically means it's going to beat it because you couldn't get a Switch 1 for a long fucking time. It was like a year probably, wasn't it?
Well, I don't think it was. I don't think it was
like
quite. Was it? Oh, it may have been. It
was a long period of time.
It's like the Wii had exactly the same issue. I remember the Wii came out and you couldn't buy it for love nor money from anywhere.
But the thing is, everyone had a Wii.
Yeah.
Every my mum was talking about Wiis.
But the point is, the Switch 2 has not got that magic about it at all. And the price they're charging for what in effect is still, I don't rate an amazing thing. Now, I'm coming at it from being a somewhat gamer. Now, I'm not a diehard gamer. You know that. We all know that. But I've been watching videos of it, okay? And people have been going, oh, isn't the Switch 2 wonderful? Look, they've managed to get Cyberpunk running on it. And they're singing all the praises and they're saying how wonderful this handheld console is. And I'm sat there and I'm watching it. And it's like, yeah, it's running. It's running like shit.
Yeah.
And I would, okay, it's incredible that they've got it running on the Switch 2, considering that the hardware is really low standard in comparison to what's actually available on every other gaming console and level out there. But as a gamer, I would not be happy with the quality that Cyberpunk is running on that machine.
Well, I'm just looking here now. I could pick up Nintendo Switch 2 with Mario Kart World, £534 from Currys. Now, that does come with 12 months membership and
I was just going to say,
that's actually quite a lot of stuff that's giving you, but that's a lot of fucking money.
Well, the standard bundle is $430 with Mario Kart World. Which, granted, looks a good game, it looks good fun, but I don't think it's worth buying the Switch 2 just for that game.
430 here, yeah. Yeah, so I feel like they shouldn't have called it Switch 2, they should have called it Switch Pro, because if you can still play all the original games on it...
well, let's get to that then, shall we? You can't play all the original games on it.
Which ones can't you play? Is there a lot?
There's going to be a catalogue released, just like Xbox did. So I remember the days. The Xbox One came out, and there was that lovely big promise by the Microsoft Xbox CEO, or whatever his name was, we're bringing backwards compatibility to it. And you know what? That backwards compatibility list is still about 30 fucking titles. It is shockingly bad. It's mainly 360, not even original Xbox games. And it's because it does it on an emulation layer basis. The Switch 2 is emulating Switch 1. It's not running it on normal hardware. You put a Switch 1 game in it. If it's compatible, it will download it onto the console, and then it's running it in an emulator.
Yeah, I don't like that. It should just fucking play it. How different can it fucking be?
Well, in effect, the Switch 2 is now a handheld PC. You might as well go and get a Steam Deck, a Lenovo Legion Go, Asus ROX X or whatever, and just get one of them.
I have the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild available for me to play on my Steam Deck.
I can only think people are getting the Switch because they're Nintendo fans and that they are desperate to play the Nintendo branded games. So Mario Kart World, the new Donkey Kong that's coming. But I mean, come on. The Switch is how old now? You've then had the Switch Lite. We had the Switch OLED. We have had one major Mario title on that. Mario Kart was just copied from the Wii U. Okay, it got a remaster, it got some upgrades, but it's still the one that you could have got on Wii U. The sideways scrolling Mario, again, Wii and then Wii U version, and then the Switch version. The Super Mario 3D World, that was Wii U again. So the only real Mario game we got on the Switch was Odyssey. And they didn't even release a new one for the Switch 2's release. Now, I can only think they're going to release it around Christmas, if there is one, to do another marketing push on the Switch 2. Get your Mario Kart, Christmas period, consoles are back in stock. By the way, there's a new Mario coming.
Now, I've got to say, I love my Switch 1. I've got a lot of fucking games on it. Lots of games. That whole thing of being able to just put it down on the screen, pick it up, walk off with it. Love
Great
that.
idea.
What a great idea. I never actually took the controllers off the side. I had a Pro controller, which was nicer to hold than having those little ones on the side.
Pro controller is
big
a
hands.
really good controller.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful controller. It's not great when it dies and runs out of battery because it takes up like 10, 20 minutes to actually come from dead to being charged. But yeah, I've played a lot of games on there. Even The Witcher I've got on there. You know, it looks dreadful. But it was one of those things just like, I'm going to have that on there so I can walk around and play that now. I mean, I've got a Steam Deck now. It's look amazing on the Steam Deck.
Well, I didn't genuinely realise that the Switch 1 is only running at 480.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 720 on the screen. Or up to 1080, I think it could do.
With this coming out, I mean, I'm not going to do it because why would I? I've got the Steam Deck. I could see myself being like, now's the time for me to upgrade to the OLED Switch 1.
Well,
because the new one doesn't have an OLED screen.
No, it's got an LCD, and you know why they've done that. So in 2 years' time, you can get the Switch 2 OLED gets rolled out.
They'll drop the price of this one, and then for a little bit more than what you're paying now for the new panel, it'll be an OLED version, new colours, and it'll be released with the new Zelda or the new Mario.
Joy-Cons for the Switch 2, any idea on the cost?
Can't imagine.
£80 a set.
Well, would you like to know something else about those Joy-Cons?
The fact they use the same sensors for the analog sticks, and people are already complaining about drift.
They already have stick drift, yep. So all the problems they had before, they're going to have again.
Why have they not learnt their lesson from that?
So they don't give a fuck. Because they don't give a fuck. They just.
But this is why I think this could well be the last Nintendo console. There is no love in that Switch 2. None at all. There is money-making opportunity, and that is it. I don't feel anything. I mean, I remember buying the Wii and being excited by it.
Oh, I loved that console. Absolutely.
I remember buying my original Game Boy Advance and I can't wait to get home. I had Doom on it. It was amazing. I remember getting my first Game Boy and being blown away with it. But you know what? I got the Switch. I played through Odyssey in about 2 days. I liked it, but it was a novelty.
Yeah.
I didn't think, wow, this is blowing my mind. And now the Switch 2's come out, and I've looked at it, I'm seeing all of this. I'm seeing that Nintendo have been lazy, and they've not even bothered to put Hall effect bloody analog sticks in it.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It is just money making. Why open it with LCD when everyone else is doing OLED?
Yeah.
That's really, really poor.
Yeah. And you touched on something about the terms of service of it being you don't own it, you rent it.
The terms of service is basically Nintendo still own it. And now a lot of things do that. Don't get me wrong. A lot of hardware, a lot of companies have been caught doing that. And there's nothing you can do about it. Realistically, Nintendo aren't going to turn up at your doorstep and say, give us back the console. But it does give them the right to brick it.
That I can't stand the idea of that.
And that's where I'm starting to get then even more frustrated, because the fact that Nintendo are the worst people out there for turning off digital marketplaces, who's to say then in 10 years when they turn off the Switch digital marketplace, that you want to hack yours so you can keep your games on it because it's the only way you're going to get those games ever again.
Yeah.
If they're still running the servers and that they can say, well, no, it's against RTOS, so we're still going to brick your console. It's just, it's really, really wrong.
The thing, I've heard a lot of people say this, that the Nintendo that you and I loved died when Iwata died.
Yes.
And now it's a corporate machine that wants to sue everybody. What they've done to Power World. You know what they've done to Power World?
Oh, they've
gutted it, basically. Yeah. Because those guys, even though they earn a fortune, Power World, they can't afford the lawsuits.
No. But as I said, the excitement, the novelty, the care, the fun, the love is gone. Do you remember? Surely you remember the Game Boy adverts. We're releasing the Game Boy Color. It's a colour screen and it's a smaller Game Boy. You only need 2 AA batteries for it. Oh my God, my world melted when I saw that. I mean, I was never going to own it. I couldn't afford it. I was at school at the time. But it's like, that is so cool.
Where do they go from here? Because they were home console and handheld. They were basically, they owned the handheld world. They owned it. No one could touch it. PlayStation tried twice, could not compete. Even though PlayStation making arguably better hardware, nicer looking games, but they're not Nintendo. They're not innovating. They've not got...
Okay, but I would say Sony's had another stab at it recently. So obviously you had the PlayStation Portal. That's now had an upgraded firmware that now allows you to do cloud gaming.
Okay.
So if you're on the Wi-Fi and you've got the membership with PlayStation,
that's interesting.
You can now do cloud gaming.
That's interesting because that device is very cool, and I'd be interested in. Again, I can stream my PlayStation to my Steam Deck, so it does seem a bit pointless, but I can see why.
If you didn't have a Steam Deck,
if I didn't have that, that would be a very interesting,
especially at the
for me.
cost of the Portal.
Yeah,
and if you consider if you bought the Portal and bought a PS5, if you did the PS5 second hand, and even potentially the Portal second hand, you could still come in cheaper than the Switch 2.
They should bundle them together. That should be a bundle.
It wouldn't
thing.
surprise me if they do.
PlayStation 6, that should be their Connect.
Well, Wii U had the right idea. You get a console and you get the handheld. And you can play the handheld around the house, or if you want to play it on the TV.
Well, the problem with the Wii U handheld was it only connected from what was broadcast from the console.
It was ahead of its time.
You couldn't get far away from it. I had the whole dreams of being able to walk to the bog with it.
Yeah, but think about,
you wouldn't reach.
But think about Wi-Fi standards now versus then.
Now that would be on your Wi-Fi network. It would be on your Wi-Fi network now. That Wii U the Wii U was never a console I really thought much about, and Miranda brought it for me. I think for one of my birthdays, completely random, complete surprise. I had no idea. I didn't ask for it. Didn't ask for anything for my birthday. She just got it. And I was like, and it was one of my favourite consoles ever. It's just, the handheld thing of it felt really nice. She had a big thing, but I adored my DS and my 3DS. And it felt like that. It felt like I had the TV and then the map in my hands.
I would say, excluding the fact they went with the capacitive screen, not capacitive, it was resistive screen. It was really well made. It felt like it was worth something in your hands.
Mine is upstairs, still works. Yep. It's charging right now.
It felt good. The Switch, actually, I thought, you know what, this feels pretty good as well. But looking at all these videos of the new one, it's bigger. I don't think it looks as good.
I actually think the Switch is a bit flimsy. It's too small for me. My hands are lanky pianist hands.
Yeah, fair enough.
Really cramp up. So I've got a special controller that makes it feel like
I know
an
the
Xbox
one. It gives
controller.
it bums on the back.
Yeah, so it makes you feel like you're holding an Xbox controller.
Yep.
And that's the only way I can play it. Forever I've had to have it. I've tried loads of different ones. Miranda brought me a few different ones, but they wasn't enough. I can't remember who actually makes this one, but yeah, I don't know what this one will be like. It's meant to be bigger, but it's the thing is, I talk about games with you a lot, and with Mark and with Dan, and particularly Dan will be talking about new consoles and stuff. We've never spoken about the Switch 2. Never spoken about it, not once. I think when you mentioned it to me the other day, that's the first conversation I've had with anybody about it, and it's out, and it's like. All the people I watch on YouTube and stuff, well, I don't watch so much gaming stuff now. No one spoke about it until it was out, and then they did unboxings. I'm like, okay, I'm not interested in watching that, if I'm honest. Wow, it's got a camera. Okay, woohoo!
Yeah, wow.
Well, I don't want to do that kind of thing, so I wouldn't be buying a camera. I only play multiplayer games with my friends who I know in person.
Yeah, and so we don't need to see a camera.
We don't need to look at each other on the cameras for that.
Exactly.
For 80 quid probably.
You have a headset. That's all you need. So yeah, nice novel idea if you want to be social. And I guess Nintendo have always tried to be social. And you look at the game style, especially with the Wii, that was the plan. And then to be able to give someone a Joy-Con, and then you turn it on its side and use that for a lot of the games. Again, social gaming.
Yeah.
I just don't think it works. I think Nintendo are being very greedy. I think the fact that we're seeing some games now, 3rd or 4th remasters of games for the Switch 2 now, I think that's just disgusting, especially at the price they're charging.
Yeah.
I remember the days, and God, sounds like, oh, in my day.
I do feel a bit Pembridge Farm here. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, fine. PlayStation. You then got PlayStation Gold or PlayStation Classic games that were re-released, and they were 20 quid.
Yeah.
And then
right.
PlayStation 2 did it, and there were some PlayStation 1 games that they bought.
They were called
forward.
Platinum. They were PlayStation Platinum.
That was it. Platinum. And PlayStation 2 did exactly the same. When a game went Platinum, it became £20.
Yeah, they put a shit cover on it.
Yeah. And then Nintendo come along and go, oh, right, Breath of the Wild. Oh, guess what? We've uprated it from 720 to 1080 now, and we put HDR on it. That's £80 again.
So Breath of the Wild is an 8-year-old game, believe it or not.
No, I believe it.
And I still, as I say in my WhatsApp, which people will hear later, I don't think that's long enough to warrant a remaster. You know, I genuinely don't. If all you're doing is just making the graphics
Breath of the Wild
nice.
originally was on the Wii U, wasn't it?
It came out on the Wii U and the Switch at the same time. But yeah, it's also on the Wii U.
Yeah.
And apparently it runs awful on it.
Well, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Apparently.
But, okay, so now you've got a game that's being remastered for the Switch 2. And they're charging full price.
Yeah, this is gross.
It's been sold how many times now? Give the people a break. It's greed, and Nintendo are just absolutely preying on Nintendo fans, knowing that Nintendo fans will pay for it. And I think they're going to stop soon.
Well, as I kind of started saying earlier, is like, where do they go from here? They had home consoles and they had handhelds. Now they've blended them together. They can never take that apart. They can't bring out, I don't think, another console that isn't also a handheld. And I think they have always had brilliant games and done very good at getting things out of their system, but they've always had the lesser system, haven't they? From what I can remember.
Well,
if we're talking about the actual
back in the day of the
hardware inside
Master System Mega Drive era, it was a close fight between the NES and the SNES, with some outperforming others in various ways. The Game Boy ruled the roost.
Yeah.
Even though it was monochrome, it kicked the arse of everything else. And yeah, okay, it was the lesser of the hardware, it was the better of the machines. It's just the way that went. But now we're in a world that hardware is cheap, RAM is cheap, hard drives cheap. Because don't forget, back in the day of gaming, 90s, early 2000s, we were stuffed based on memory pricing. And that's why things cost a lot of money. And now we're actually just more limited by graphics cards, and because of bloody Bitcoin and everything else, that's why graphics cards cost so much. If the whole Bitcoin thing didn't exist, God, the price of graphics would be through the floor as well, because memory costs peanuts. What is Nintendo's excuse to be releasing hardware that is not up to the standard of everyone else's?
Yeah. Yeah, people are buying Switch 2s for what I paid for my OLED Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Which is, it's Linux, shame, but it's, an amazing computer, that can play so many really cool things. It can probably play Switch and Switch 2 games.
And
probably could.
And I know people will be screaming, going, oh, yes, but it's a digital marketplace, which you've already said you don't like. Yes, but how long has Steam been going for? It's not going to be disappearing anytime soon. Nintendo chose to turn off those markets. They didn't need to.
PC went that way and forced everyone into it a long time ago, like a very, very long time ago. That was a battle lost ages ago. But consoles are different. Like with PCs, it's kind of an iterative thing. Like you don't get a new PC every few years. You upgrade parts of it, and everything that you had before continues to work for it in perpetuity until an OS change then makes it impossible to work.
Yes.
But I feel like that's becoming a less and less thing nowadays, and with modders and stuff, older things come back, and you can play a lot of these old things.
Well, Steam started back on Windows 98.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think consoles work in the same way. Because what consoles do is they turn their services off. Way more than what happens on PC. But with PC, modders can mod the game and then host them peer to peer. You know, you don't do that on console games.
No.
They fucking turn it off.
Or things like GOG suddenly exist who say, yeah, you can download our cloud installer, our Steam equivalent, or there's the offline installer for you to keep in perpetuity and keep forever, just in case our servers go offline.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Nintendo are a rich company. Storage online is cheap. Vastly cheap.
Yeah.
There was no reason why the DS, the 3DS, the Wii U marketplaces needed to be switched off. They could have been modified to be, we no longer have any of the live functions, but we'll recognise your account, we'll recognise your purchases, and they're all still there. They'll never get modded, they'll never get updated, but if you need to access something you have bought before, you still can.
Okay, here's an example. So, Red Alert, Command & Conquer Red Alert 1.
Yes.
I've got that on disc.
Same here.
If I had a CD drive in my computer, which I don't, I could put that in and I could get that to work. Right?
Yes.
Now, when did that come out? I was probably...
Red Alert 1 would have been 97 or 98, I would have said.
So
I'll look it up while you talk.
That is old, right? But I can go upstairs now, grab it, put it in a computer and get it to work. I might have to find a patch, but I'll be able to get it to work this evening. I can...
96 for one.
Right, I can do it, but let's pretend I can't. I couldn't go to my 3DS and go, oh, I've got this game that I downloaded once on the store that I had to remove because I didn't have enough storage space. Or, oh, my SD card's corrupt. I better put a new one in and I'll re-download the games I had. So just go download that Zelda game that I had on the DSi store. Oh, they've turned the fucking store off. Oh shit, how do I get this game that I brought from their store less time ago than when Red Alert came out? You know, how am I going to play that now? Now I've got this, they had this wonderful store with all these things on it and now I can't access it anymore. Now I've just got a 3DS that's fucking useless.
Oh, wait, hang on a moment. Let's move you into 2025, Rob. I've bought you a Switch 2 and gone, mate, look, I've bought you this. I'm really generous. And you go, ooh, that's really nice. Oh, he didn't get me the one with the pack-in game, though. What a cunt. Anyway, I've gone to game and you've gone and bought yourself Mario Kart World. And what you don't spot on the back of Mario Kart World is one of the 3 icons. And one of those icons says, this is a game key. One of the icons will say this is a game card, and I can't remember what the third one was. Game keys.
This is an empty box.
There is nothing on that game card except for a license file.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. That's annoyed me so much I forgot what my point was going to be because I've just found that so annoying. Like, what people would do is exactly what I've done. I don't fucking care if Nintendo are listening. My 3DS is cracked. I have access to every single 3DS game I ever want to have.
Yep.
I actually own 90% of what I've downloaded as an actual cartridge. But for ease, for myself, I've gone and downloaded them. But there are some DSi shop games on there. Impossible to get.
Yes.
Just gone. So those publishers, like indie publishers who would have made these games, their revenue's gone forever because the great games can never be downloaded again, and that's it.
But I also disagree with, okay, I bought on the 3DS, although I had the 2DS because I thought 3DS was a terrible, terrible gimmick. I bought the 2DS. I bought Pokemon Yellow on that.
Well, you won't get
I
that
will
anymore.
never get that again. And guess what you can buy on some of the new modern stores? Oh, Pokemon Yellow. Do I get that? No.
No, because it doesn't care that you used to have
No,
it.
you got to buy it again.
Yeah. One of the...
It's greed.
I've said this before. One of the handheld consoles that they did, if something happened to the console, you couldn't... It didn't care what you had downloaded. You had to buy it all again.
Yeah.
Because it was all stored to the device and keyed to the device. If your device died, you didn't have a login that could pair it to it. You had to buy all of those fucking games again.
Those license keys, that's exactly it. You put Mario Kart World into your Switch 2, it is now tied to that handheld.
Yeah.
They've gone back to that again.
Oh, this was it. I have other than the little tiny weird like indie games that I've got on my Switch, which I have brought through their store because I had no choice but to do that. I got a voucher for the store, I think, one birthday, so I used that and brought Mario, whatever it is on there with the hat. You throw the hat.
Yeah, Odyssey, which is brilliant.
So I have the
digital download
of that. I'm going to fucking lose that one day. If I don't keep that stored on my Switch and nothing happens to my SD card and the Switch never dies, I'm safe. But we all know what happens to media. It will die.
Of course.
They're going to turn that store off and then, well, fuck you lot. I'm just going to pirate it at that point.
Exactly. And it's Nintendo have been the ones that have been worse going for pirators. But you know what? People that pirate those games, it's because you're never going to get them again. And okay, they say, oh yeah, we've got our virtual console now. Yeah, great. For the same price, well, actually, no, it is actually, I will hold my hand up, actually, I'm wrong there. It's cheap, the membership for the Microsoft for the year. It is cheap, but you're only getting a handful of N64, SNES, NES, Mega Drive, and GameCube games. Whereas you pay a little bit more for the Xbox or the PlayStation, you get a giant library of games that is changing all the time.
Yeah.
You're getting old games, you're getting brand new games. I don't think, this is my honest opinion, Nintendo should have given up after the Switch and gone, we're going to maintain the Switch, we're going to do a Sega. This is our last bit of hardware, we're going to look more at making games.
Make games for Xbox or something.
Yeah.
You know, that would be great, wouldn't it? Having a brilliant Mario or Mario Kart on an Xbox console. Like a really powerful console. They could really...
Well, or you know what?
Go nuts with it.
Be really brave and say, we're going to release Nintendo games. We are becoming Nintendo Cloud. You can buy your Nintendo Cloud membership and you can play that on your Xbox. You can play that on your PlayStation. And it's all cloud. And, oh, I'm playing the latest Mario on my Xbox via their cloud app because there's no more hardware. Everything is just cloud-based.
I mean, I wouldn't like that because I want to have the disc. But I mean, I can see that. Well, I mean, that's what Xbox wants to do. That's what they want Game Pass to be. And I just don't think it'll ever work whilst they're taking things off Game Pass, which is what they do. The things go on and off. Yeah. I mean, it's... I don't want to shit on them, but I kind of do. It would be great if the Switch 2 did really well, and it could mean they could do more things, because some of the things they do are cool, but excuse me, I don't think they will. I think they're a bunch of money-grabbing bastards.
Yeah, 100%.
Basically. Right, that's enough of that.
Let's do this.
Okay, let's get on with it now. We've been here a long time. The whole point of this was to talk about Men in Black International. Now, it came out in 2019. Let me tell you how fucking bored I was watching it.
It was shit. There you go, stop recording.
Okay, now, I'm not going to go as far as to say it was shit, because I don't think it was actually shit.
There are redeeming moments.
There are... The ending, when the credits roll, that's a great moment in the film. No, so there were moments. Now, I will say I did not even snigger at any point during this comedy.
Oh, there's
one moment did I snigger.
There's one point where Pawnee says something that made me and Jem laugh.
Nope.
That was it.
Nope, not me. He was the best character in it, Pawnee.
Yeah, he was. That's what we said. We said 100% he's the best character in this.
Thor was terrible.
What?
Annoying, frustrating. I think his whole point, he was meant to be annoying. Well, it worked. I found him annoying.
He is just playing Thor. And it just made me think, what else have I seen Chris Hemsworth in? And it's just, can he only actually play Thor? Is this the only acting he can do?
No, there are a couple of action things I've seen on, I think, Netflix, like Red something. That he's actually quite good in.
Right, okay, no, and then I will hold my hands up. I've only ever seen him in Thor and comedies like the Ghostbusters, and he basically just plays an idiot, and it just seems that that's what he's doing here.
Yeah, and Liam Neeson was there because he must have needed a new car or an extension, or he must have had an alimony payment. He needed to make something.
Big names in that film, and oh my god, did they waste them?
Yeah. Who was the lady who's the in charge?
Yeah, I know who you mean. Big actress.
She wasn't in it for very much.
No, she's... Yeah, if anyone was after like an alimony payment or a car payment, it was her.
Yeah. What I did like, the art style of it, it's very Men in Black. They do that very well.
Emma Thompson,
that's it. The graphics of the two blokes who follow them around, the
Right.
galaxy kind of thing,
when
that
their
was pretty
when
cool.
their galaxy design, I think they looked fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was very
That was
cool.
beautiful. They
Yeah.
looked really nice. I like how they kind of melted people.
Yeah.
How they did the earthquake thing in London's only street that couldn't have had any human beings in it at any time of the night, even though all the shops appeared to be open.
Yeah.
I mean, just miracle.
Yeah.
I like the fact they used twins
Yeah.
to play the two blokes in that. I think that's brilliant.
It's very Matrix-esque.
It was very Matrix-esque.
Yeah, and
then we get a lechy fat blob alien.
yeah, he was odd. I really did like the hive alien at the end. Liam Neeson turned into him. I thought the graphics on him was good, but it suited it because it was very dark and a bit
And it was
wet.
over so quick.
Yeah, it's like that was joking aside, that was the best part of the film. And then when she goes through the portal and gets sucked back in by Pawnee and his thing, that was the best bit of the whole film. Now, I didn't find myself looking at my phone, as I've said before, is a good sign of whether actually a film's engaging. But I think it was more of a case of like, I was engaged because I was waiting to laugh. I was waiting for something to happen that I gave a fuck about. Now, I'd say it didn't even feel remotely like a Men in Black film. It felt more like they were trying to do a Bond film with aliens in it.
The charm was gone.
Absolutely
Men
no
in
charm.
Black had charm.
Yeah.
And it was fun, it was exciting, it was new. Men in Black 2 was rubbish in comparison. And they then went to Men in Black 3 and got it back by just peeling it back a little bit and going, where did we go wrong? And the third one's really quite good.
That's the
time travel one.
That's it. What I felt about Men in Black 1 is that the film happens to Will Smith. It's being driven by the carnage and the mess and this weirdness that's all happening around him, and that's what's the driving force.
Doesn't it feel genuine?
Yeah.
He's chasing after a criminal. It's like, what the fuck just happened? I can't believe my eyes.
Yeah.
No one's believing me. And boom, this man in black appears, interviews him, and then he's got to go through that painstaking moving the table, shooting the little girl in the head. Why have you chosen to shoot her? All that. Brilliant scenes. And then what do we get in Men in Black International? She, as a child, sees an alien, makes friends with it. Next thing we know, she's got the biggest brain known to man. She fully understands everything from astrophysics to nuclear.
Yeah, that wound me up.
And she manages just to waltz in. I mean, as Jem actually really clearly pointed out, yes, we know as the viewer, those pigeons are flying through a hologram at the beginning. For all she knows, they're being vaporized.
yeah, I didn't think of that.
But this super clever woman just like, I'm going to put my hand through it.
Yeah, she didn't want to kind of chuck a rock or something at it a bit closer. I made the kind of mental note of she had been there for 2 weeks and she was getting 95 to 97% on her alien language or whatever it was. I'm thinking, fuck off. It's like, no, I don't care how clever you are. She was in like the high 90s for the 3 retarded categories. Sorry, everybody, that's a word I'm not meant to say. Categories that were written on the screen. That was a little bit unbelievable. But the thing is, Men in Black 1, I'm going to compare it to number 1 because that's what I think everyone will be.
But that is
comparing it
genuine
to.
in Men in Black.
That is all about Will Smith's character.
Yes.
And
well, no, it's not. It's all about Jay, which is Will Smith's character, and it's all about Kay, because don't forget, the film opens in Men in Black 1 with Kay retiring his colleague. So it follows the storyline of both of them.
Yeah, but you're kind of seeing it through Will Smith's perspective of it. So that's just like a bit of foreshadowing of bits to come later. And then you get a little payoff with, it's Tommy Lee Jones, isn't it?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Of him seeing his wife and he's looking at his wife on the computer and stuff, which isn't even creepy. I say it like it's creepy. It's not even remotely creepy when you watch it. You go, no, actually, yeah, I'd probably be doing that too.
No, because you get the
he's
idea
not meant
that you
to have
understand.
those connections.
Yeah, they are meant to disconnect themselves from the world.
Yeah, but I feel like you're actually really the protagonist, or if you were writing a book about Men in Black, you'd be writing it in first person and it would be Will Smith's character is written in.
Yes.
Whereas this, I feel like they had they had the character her. That was the Will Smith character, and that's what it should have been. But because they've got Hemsworth, big actor at the time, Thor, big movie films, they wanted to get their money's worth out of him, so we got a lot of him. So the film was in 2 parts, her and him, and I didn't think they met.
Well, no, they didn't, and this is the very, very clear thing. In Men in Black 1, Will Smith's character is learning throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
Whereas it feels like her character just walks in and she already knows.
She knows everything, fuck it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when they are fighting the 2 Galaxy dudes in the world's quietest London street scene, she knows how every single one of those guns work. Take that back to Men in Black 1. He pulls out the noisy cricket. What the hell am I meant to do with this? Fires it and gets blown across 2 cars into a van.
Yeah.
That's the difference between quality and caring about developing a film versus what International did, which is we're just going to make them both strong lead characters in their own way and they can do whatever they need to do.
Yeah. It's funny you said that about the quietest London streets because we watched Black Doves a few months ago and we kept saying, where are they filming this? Because they're firing live firearms in built-up London residential areas. No one's even twitching a curtain. It's like, this is not realistic.
And that's exactly what happens in this. Now, I know they've got the neuralizer.
Yeah.
But
can't neuralize everyone.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, you have to suspend a lot of your disbelief in this film for like the law that they set themselves where they have to do clear up and they're having full-on alien motorbike chases through Marrakesh fucking...
Yeah, she literally neuralizes 2 people on that run and then just gives up.
Yeah, and what about the few hundred other people that she's need to be run over by the weird motorbike thing?
Yep, and they try and clone scenes from the original film as well. The first film goes in, Will Smith finally comes down to meet Kay, and he taps the ball, and it smashes around all of the office.
Yeah, which is funny.
That's what caused the power outage of whatever year.
Yeah.
What do we get in this? We get a less funny ball scene, just with a little alien instead.
Yeah.
So and it suddenly starts running off and everyone's diving around to get it and it's chaos.
It's not funny.
It's just not... You've already done it once and this is the poor man's version.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually stopped writing notes about halfway in. We watched the hour of it, went to bed, and then we watched the next hour and I just didn't bother carrying on.
I didn't write
notes.
any notes in the second half other than that I liked the Hive Monster. It's the least notes I've written for any of the films because I just there are no points I really need to talk about here. The only reason I think I even partially really enjoyed any of it was because the budget was there. So the art style and design of the Men in Black films I like. I like the alien design. I like how they do it graphically. I could just kind of like how it
The choice
looks.
of a classic Jaguar, brilliant.
Yeah.
The gun's hidden in it, so the drum of his gun being the hubcap.
That was a great idea. Yeah.
Guns built in all around it. Brilliant.
Yeah,
just didn't like the fact that she was
fuel
just whipping them out and able to use them without anything kind of bad or not going. You could have just even slapstick comedy, which is what Men in Black was. She could have pulled it. Right, I pull this, pulled the trigger,
fall off.
magazine drops out. Classic. Done in loads of films. Something like that. Or she's holding it backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
And neuralizes herself like 3 minutes or something.
And one thing I noticed, she gets on a subway train that looks like a subway train, then morphs into not being a subway train, being something
that was
else.
such an awful scene.
But what's the fucking point of it? Because why does it need to look like a actual subway train when it's in the Men in Black base and it's going down its own secret track with aliens on it to another Men in Black base? Why does it look like a normal subway train? It's completely pointless. Pointless.
It's completely pointless. And I love the fact that she could just walk into the Men in Black base and they call it in.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the lift stops. It still takes her down to their main base where she can see everything. It's like, that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I guess they just expect to neuralize her and then that'll be fucking it.
Yeah,
Job done.
Yeah, so you just walked in, not even a fingerprint scanner on the lift. So, I mean, all of that. I think, you know what? One bit that I genuinely thought was fun. Okay, fun, minus the NY. I quite like the fact that the fat slob alien drinks vodka cranberry.
Yeah.
So you've just got an alien race. You're in this club. You're expecting it. What are they going to? Is it going to be like foam and dry ice coming off it? Is it going to look like science fiction? No, he likes vodka cranberry.
Yeah.
That was quite fun.
Yeah.
That was a novel idea. And if that had been in something like Men in Black 1, I would have laughed at it. But up to this point, it was so not bad, but so wasted.
Yeah.
And so little was done with it that was decent. I just couldn't really bring myself to it. I mean, it's like, as you say, Chris Hemsworth, he was in it because he was eye candy. You could have done his role with any other one. They had to have a sex scene with him just so he could be topless.
Yeah.
Okay? They just had to do that because it's Hemsworth. Just like the Ghostbusters. I like Ghostbusters 2016. But they have him just because he's totty. And I know that is the joke. But either way, you could just done so much better.
But they play that joke in Ghostbusters, which is why it works. They're not playing that joke in this.
No, they're not at all.
He's an unfunny
Although
secret agent.
they do play it, don't they? With the weird purple broccoli alien woman in Men in Black who slows down time and is reversing it for that scene. And it's a dreadfully awful, painful scene because the character looks awful. And the whole point of it's just like, this is rubbish.
Redeeming feature of the film, actually, the three-armed lady, she's in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, and the three-armed was quite novel. That was quite novel, that just suddenly came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And as I say, Pawnee was the best character. And
he was the best character.
He is played by
the comedian.
Yeah, the comedian who's also in the newest Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Yes.
He plays the fire person.
He's the guy who's trying to sell the orb or whatever it is he's got.
That's it. It turns out his aunt is the one that was protecting them all from it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just really, really difficult to enjoy.
Yeah. It's a shame because between that and Will Smith, it's kind of ruined Men in Black.
Yeah.
Hasn't it?
And I mean, can I just say as well,
yeah,
I know we don't normally moan about these things.
Us? Not moaning? That sounds very odd.
But it was just so, why did you have to put this bit in here? Men in Black? Oh, don't go there. I've had that argument already. It's like, why do you even need to have
all that fucking shit. Oh, yeah, shut up. Yeah, it could have just been left. It could have just been, just ignore it. It's fine. Be called Men in Black. I've never heard anyone moan about it being called Men in Black. It was the first time I've ever heard anybody moan about it. Anyway,
yeah,
I've had enough about talking about it. I wasn't impressed by it. Boring. What a shame.
A waste of a license.
I don't think there'll be another one ever because of that.
No, I don't think there would be. I think we should have an episode at some point where we try and write what would our Men in Black International be.
It wouldn't be that.
What's up with that guy?
This is a long one. Sorry, everyone. I hope you're all strapped in for that. So, we have got a first. Next episode and the episode after, it is a two-parter. The next episode is a two-parter. You'll get the first half in the next episode, and the second half will be the episode after that. And the reason being is we're watching two films that are connected. We're watching War of the Worlds, the original first, 1953.
Yeah.
And then we're going to watch War of the Worlds, Tom Cruise, 2005. A much loved film by me. Now, I've never seen the original. So
the 53 one used to scare me as a kid. I used to watch that as a young child and it would scare me.
So I'm genuinely really looking forward to watching that. I think it's like an hour and a bit. It's not very long. I don't even think it's an hour and a half.
No, I think you're right. I think it is actually a very short
it's like an hour and 20.
But that
of
the time.
Yeah, it suits us as well for doing two. So yeah, there'll be two episodes, which does mean there'll be, just because of things going on outside of the podcast, there'll only be one guest intro. It'll be a special guest intro. I'll tell you about it on the next episode. But yeah, so if anybody wants to watch along with us, then yeah, it's going to be The War of the Worlds from 1953 and War of the Worlds from 2005. That's it. Yes, next section. I was going to say something, but I'm going to leave it for the next bit.
Why are you wearing pink trousers?
I've been doing so well. I've been doing so well recently, and I'm just stumbling over my fucking words. So before I say goodbye, there's somebody I want to say hello to. I've not mentioned this person at any point, any time, ever, but I was on Good Pods earlier, just having a look around. As I do, I like to just check up on the shows, how they're doing. I look at you, me, I look at the other studio, Channel 84 guys, you know, who takes the socks off, and fuck, I've done the wrong way around again. Fucking lightly used. I'm so sorry, everybody. And I like to see where everyone is on the charts because I'm a bit like that. And there's somebody who seems to listen to pretty much every single one of the Sci-Fi Show. I'm going to give them a shout out. Name's Keb. Hello, Keb. If you do actually listen, Keb, thanks for listening. Keb has their own podcasts, which I'm going to tell you what they are now. The Stupid History Minute, where they do little bits of history, and they're all 1 minute long. It's quite good, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I listened to a few of them today. And Unfiltered Sports Weekly. Now, I've got to say, Seb, sorry, I haven't listened to that one. I think it's to do with baseball.
Yeah, I'm not a sports person anyway.
And
so
I love sport, but I have no idea about baseball. I only say that because I can see it's the number one in the top 100 baseball all-time charts on Good Pods.
Ooh.
So well done to you, Seb. So hello, if you do listen. I'm just stalking you on Good Pods. So that's it. We're done. This is a long one.
It is a long one. Oops.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk about, and I'll add the little bit, as I said, I'll add the WhatsApps at the end after all the music and all that jazz, just if you are interested in listening to what we originally said to each other about the Switch, pretty much cover what we say here. I think I do rant on a bit about the terms of service and stuff. But yeah, so who are we? We are the Untitled Sci-Fi Show and the Variety Show. We are part of the Studio Channel 84 network of indie podcasts, along with Lightly Used with Adam and Karen. I'm supposed to say it that way around, Karen said.
Apparently, so it's Karen and Adam.
Karen and Adam, Adam and Karen, Karen and Adam. And Who Takes the Socks Off with Ross and Simon. I'm doing it that way down this time. Ooh, they're going to tell me off too. Yeah, you can find us, or all of us, all six of us can be found on channel84.co.uk. And you can email us at podcasts@channel84.co.uk. You can email me directly at rob@untitledscifishow.co.uk.
Yep.
Not the Untitled.
No, just
Untitled Sci-Fi Show.co.uk, and or at channel84.co.uk either work.
Yep.
Or Tom, which will be TJ at thevarietyShow.co.uk. So it's the first time I've said it. Yeah.
Or again at channel84.co.uk. Our old addresses still work. That's fine.
Yeah. You can find us both on X, Blue Sky. We've got Facebook. We've got a Reddit page as well. I do check it occasionally. I have been checking it. That's a good way of contacting us directly. We've got Discord. Again, we don't go on it as much as we used to, but it's still there. There are other people who listen. Chat with them on there. It's great. Everyone's lovely. Send me your answers to this week's Guess the Intro.
Which you haven't said what it is. What is this?
It's no special. It's just
Guess the Intro. Okay,
Guess
fair
the
enough.
Intro. Back to bog standard Guess the Intro. Sorry, no special
No,
this time.
that's fine.
It could be anything. It could be a TV show, could be a film, but as always, it is sci-fi, or as close to sci-fi adjacent as I can possibly make it.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm going to run out of ideas. There may be like doubles, or
I'm waiting for the day for Short Circuit turns up in it, or Short Circuit 2.
One of them. It's been on it. Short Circuit's been on it.
Has it?
Right at the start, I think. I mean, I have them all
you're probably
still
right,
listed. I have them all
yes,
still
yes.
listed. Johnny Five hasn't been on it. Specifically, his voice hasn't been on it. That's it. Yeah, as I said, 2 War of the Worlds. Send in
and 1
your
World
answers.
Cup.
And one World Cup. Send in your answers to Guess the Intro. I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Sci-Fi Show. This station is now shutting down and will be back in 2 weeks. May the Force live long and prosper inside of you. This was a Studio Channel 84 network show. To find more, head over to channel84.co.uk now.
Good morning, darling. We completely missed another point on my call sheet, which, to be fair, we wouldn't have fit in the main episode. So this is a WhatsApp voice message that I'm going to turn into a bonus episode of some sort at some point with your voice replies too, please. So the Switch 2 was released yesterday, or at least it was released this week. And I think the first thing that's worth noting, there is still stock in the UK that you can go out and buy today. That speaks volumes to me compared to the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X and S. All of those you could not buy on launch day. If you could, they were sold out by 9 in the morning. The Switch 2 had a midnight release and there is still stock available. Now, I don't put that down to Nintendo just making loads of consoles. I put that down to people aren't going to buy it as much as they think they were. So that was point number one. Point number two, the Nintendo terms and conditions have changed. Did you see this? That they now consider when you buy your Switch 2, you are buying it as a licensed device. So you are actually just buying the device and the money is really going towards a license allowing to use that device. So if you then modify your Switch 2 in any way, and I have a feeling if they find out a way of detecting if you're using one of those flash carts, that will be considered modifying. They are legally allowed to brick your device because if you look at the terms and conditions of the purchase, all you're doing is buying the right to use Switch hardware and games. You're not actually buying the hardware. The hardware remains their property and they can do what they want with it. So if you fuck around with it, they'll just brick it, destroying it, and there's no comeback from you on it. I mean, that's just disgusting to start with. Then, do you remember virtual game cards? The games that you could buy on the Switch, and if you had two kids at home, you had two Switches, you could buy one game and the virtual card would allow them to play it at the same time, yeah? Made sense, didn't it? Yeah, say you bought Mario Kart, you got two kids, you're not going to pay 60, 70 pounds for the game twice. But they could play the game, they could have fun, brilliant. Yeah, Switch 2, you now need to buy multiple games. The whole virtual card thing doesn't work anymore. It's all about you've got to have the game each if you want to play it at the same time. So, yeah, a little bit more money making there. To be fair, though, I'll be corrected on that, as I find it hard to believe that they'd let you play the game at the same time, but I do vaguely remember those adverts. And finally, and this is the one that made me laugh, if you buy the Switch 2 and you have £8 of money spare, then you can buy the Welcome to the Switch 2 game, which teaches you how to use the console for £8. Putting that in, let's just put that in context to the PlayStation 5. You got this awesome game where you play as the little PS5 mascot, included for free, Astro's Playroom. There you go, that's what it was called. Totally 100% free, fully built game, showed all the power of the console. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Switch and Nintendo want you to pay £8 for their equivalent. Just shite.
Hello, mate. G'day. So, what I did think this actually that we should talk about the Switch 2. So, well, I just want to quickly before it leaves my brain. My opinion on I'm driving, by the way, so sorry if the van noise comes through. I put my headphones in. My opinion on the terms of service stuff is that it doesn't hold up in court, a lot of it, and it's been proven by cases. I think a lot of time in America where people have taken certain places to court over terms of service not being fair and won. And the reason being, if I go and buy a Switch, this is the first time I've heard of this from you. So if I went and buy something, I can't agree to a terms and conditions license after the fact point of purchase. So if I've gone to a shop or Amazon or wherever I'm buying it from, and paid the £400 odd, I'm sure it costs, who knows, for the console, I now own it. Surely, if they're putting stuff in saying, oh no, actually, when you brought that, you weren't buying it, you were renting it, that needs to be made clear at point of purchase, not at point of turning the console on when you turn it on. Because I think you'll have a lot of struggle if you brought something like a Switch, took it home, opened it up, then read the terms and conditions, or terms of service, whatever they fucking call it, sorry, then it tells you, oh no, you're actually just renting this. I wonder how many of those refunds will actually be allowed. You know, whether these people go, oh no, you brought it. You know, because you're not returning it because it's faulty. You're returning it because you have a disagreement with some arbitrary terms of service, which, as well, they change whenever the bloody hell they like, and then force you to accept it. And there isn't, like, it's not realistic for people to read. I'm sure that was what one of the courts said. It's not with some other terminology the courts will use, but basically you can't expect people to be reading 700 pages of conditions that are all in legalese that no one understands and aren't fair. I think that they can put all this stuff in there, but let me tell you, if I ever buy a Switch 2 and they start telling me I can't do something, I'll just wait till it gets cracked, and I'll crack it, or send it to someone crack it for me. You know, I don't care. That's exactly what I've done with my 3DS. You're going to turn the store off? Well, fuck you then. I want to have access to all these games still. So I went and learned how to crack it, cracked it, and now I've got all the games which they've taken away from me. You know, it's just Nintendo, well, all of them are really bad for this, and this is the way it's going. Which is why I write those things, those articles. This is going to cause me to write another one this way about, you know, physical media being so much better. I totally understand the stores and all that, and having access to these things. You can have it quickly. Supposedly, which should be cheaper because you now don't have the distribution costs, the packaging costs, all that. Well, that saving was never passed to the customers, was it? There's still, I bet you the bloody Mario Kart on their Nintendo store was probably still 80 quid, just like the cartridge. I remember there used to be PlayStation games, probably still are, more expensive on the PlayStation store than if you went to a shop and bought it brand new on disc. Tell me how that works. Anyway, Switch 2, right? Let's get back to the Switch 2. You've had my opinion now on the terms and conditions, or whatever the hell they call it, terms of service. The Switch 2, so I'm a person that does suffer from FOMO. Now, I can tell you I have no FOMO for the Switch 2. The only reason I'll be getting a Switch 2 is when a new Legend of Zelda comes out, and a proper one, you know, like Breath of the Wild proper one. So not Tears of the Kingdom, which is apparently a very good game, I've only played a little bit, not just using the same engine and just rebranding it, just changing the story. I want a full, realised new one, and that would draw me to it. But I've got to be honest, I'm really not that bothered by it, particularly not right now. You know, maybe if T came to me when he's older, in a few years, oh, Dad, I really would like to play these games on the Switch 2, could we get one? Then maybe I'd get one for us to share. But right now, no, I'm not really interested. I haven't even watched like unboxings or watched videos. The only game on it at the moment I'm even partially interested in is Mario Kart, but that's not going to be going anywhere, is it? And I think there's probably a lot of people the same. You know, that's why they've still got it all on the shelves still, because there's no way they overstocked. No way. These people, these companies, they live on FOMO. They need to drive that kind of like, oh, this person's got it. Oh, I really wish I could get it. Oh, I better put my pre-order in for the next shipment. Oh, you know, there's none of that. I don't know anyone talking about it. You know, we all talk about GameStop all the time. You know, I haven't heard any of us talk about the Switch 2, other than, oh, it's coming out. But when it came out yesterday, Thursday, was the day it came out, so I'm talking to you Friday, for those who want to date this chat. It just was like just out. It's like there was no lead up to it. I completely forgot about it. Not with the Switch 1. I pre-ordered that Switch 1. I was super excited about it. I went and got it the next day. I couldn't do the midnight release of it. I went in the morning the next day. You know, made all the terrible purchases like 1-2 Switch and all that. Bomberman on the Switch. Dreadful bloody games. Oh my gosh, dreadful games. Yeah, none of that. Because it was a brand new idea for a Nintendo console. Whereas now, the Switch 2, to me, it just feels like an iteration. It feels like an Xbox One X. It's their version of the Xbox One X. Can play the same games, can play nicer games too. You know, has a nicer screen, has, you know, a better designed controller clicky thingy. You know, and all that's great. But when, like us, you've got things like the Lenovo or the Steam Deck. I've got a handheld now, which is so good. Yeah, it doesn't have the first-party Nintendo games, but right now there isn't a first-party Nintendo game I'd really like to get. So, you know, and even then, when the new Zelda comes out, am I going to buy a £400 console for a new Zelda? I'm not sure. There's going to need to be more stuff than that, you know. I think that there's a lot of people like that. You know, if they'd come out with this, right, not just HD upscales of the last 2 Zelda games for an extortionate amount of money, by the way. And I don't know if they do this, but I really think that they should have a thing where if you already own it, do what PlayStation do, like I did with The Last of Us Part 2. You already own it, okay, just give us a tenner, and you can have the digital version of the HD remaster. I bet you Nintendo haven't done that. I bet you Nintendo are charging you 65, 70 quid for a game that the people who are interested in those games have already got. And the only people I can think in my brain who are buying those remastered versions of it are influencers and YouTubers, you know, because they're not old enough. Breath of the Wild is not old enough to be having a HD upscale remaster thing. You know, as much as that's an absolutely fantastic game it is, and I adore it, it's one of my favourite Zelda games, it is not long enough between when that game came out and now. It should be the next Nintendo console. Hopefully it's not going to be the Switch 3. Hopefully they'll come up with a different idea, you know, and then bring Breath of the Wild out again. Like, it's kind of like what they did with, you know, some of those other older stuff like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. It was a long period of time before they remastered them and tweaked them. But more they needed modernising to newer controls and stuff than just, well, this is more graphic, I'm assuming. I don't really know. Anyway, I'm starting to lose track and just starting to rant. This has been going on for nearly 10 minutes. So yeah, I don't have the fear of missing out, basically is what I'm saying. Not really fussed by it. I'll wait until there's a new Zelda, a new actual proper Mario game, and not just a rehash of the last Mario. As much as that is a perfectly great Mario game, I loved it. They need to make a new. Yeah, so that's it really. Fear of missing out, I don't think's there. That terms of service stuff, what a load of bollocks. I don't think that'll hold up in court. And that's it. I hope you can hear all this, because I'm not going to do 9 minutes 30 something seconds again. Love you. Bye bye.